Hello, everyone. My name's Javakun. I'm your friendly Discord mod, and I'm here with,
Term.
and we're going to be doing the Knights and Summon Origin set tier list. So we got all the cards down here from all the complete set, all the collector editions, all the deck and everything. And we're going to be doing from S to F, sorry, double S to F.
Right.
So trying to go over each one of the tiers for double S for us is kind of like a staple. It's a go-to card, flexible for every deck. Sorry, portal. S is right up there. Very good card. Sometimes certain cards can be dropped from double S to S just because it might not fit perfectly in a portal. A is a good card, um, synergizes good with other cards, but as a standalone card, it might not be S or double S tier. Um, Sometimes it just runs better just being with another synergy group. B is, your run-of-the-mill average card that is still good to play, um, but it doesn't have that synergy or it doesn't have those things where it might just be a good card all on its own. What do you think? C and D and F term.
So C tier, more meaning that it heavily relies within the cards and how you play it. Just more how the card goes at each turn. Going with D, it's basically saying like, yeah, the card it needs help. There's nothing about it that not every portal that it's in that it just standalone it won't work. And then with F, we're just saying that it just doesn't work. No
Yeah,
matter heavily you put effort into it, it just wouldn't highly recommend it at all.
yeah. And this is our what we think. It's not what everybody thinks, and our opinion. So we're just gonna get started down here with our number one, the Dark Knight. So the Dark Knight is a dark card, and this ally ignores all light equipped cards on your opponent's field with an 800, attack uh, and three equips. It's a pretty decent card. Where do you think it goes, Term? What do you think?
So for a card like that, like yes, it has nice equipment space. You can throw cards on there, yeah, but standalone for me, how that card works, they have to have equipment on them to even be for this card to be useful. And yeah, every card's gonna have it, but to be that specific that it has it's being all light cards, I personally I rate it around a B tier.
I'm
B tier,
actually with you on either B or C tier. Like it's good, but it's not, you know, all-time killer type of thing where it's better when it's accompanied by a good set of equips. And that effect, not everybody runs light cards, so it's kind of a niche effect.
right?
So
And for it to be just a single type, it just doesn't really hit all the way. Like if it was more than just one, okay, but just being one specific, I can't put him any higher.
yep. So we going B or C? What do you think?
I I say yeah, he can be useful if so to say, like if they are using light cards, all right. I mean, but other than that, I I rate him a I rate him a B.
Okay, we'll go for the B. Okay, next is the Scarecrow Knight. Man, this is a powerful card. We've been dealing with it throughout the tournament. Scarecrow Knight is a 1000 plus attack with a 1 equip with an effect that goes this card gains plus 200 for every dark card in your discard pile. We have our tournament winner, and basically his entire dark discard portal was just insane. So what do you think? Where does this go?
So for that card on how that works, for it to be able to get every 200 for a dark discard, especially as what you said, for if you're running straight dark, that card, ooh, I'd say it's an S tier. Not every deck will use this. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, but for it to being that powerful of a card to gain that much, especially you're running a discard deck where you're just discarding multiple dark cards, 10 out of 10. There's nothing about it.
And I will say it does also count your opponent's discard pile, which is
Which
also
is right,
insane. But you can't run this out of a non-dark deck, like
right.
a non-dark portal. So I don't
Set
think it's on the S. I think it goes more on the you need some synergy to really pop this off.
right. With that, it can also sadly it can be banished, exiled. Like it loses that to it, but having, as what you said, your opponent also using dark as well, and dark right now is pretty meta with everything that's happening.
That's true.
I definitely give it an S.
You okay? You're going for the S.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. We'll go for the S. Just because it's such a good card. Honestly, it's such a good card. 200 just by having stuff just in your discard zone is just pretty damn good. Okay. We're gonna go next with the Resurrected Knight, which is right
Where
here.
is that, man?
So Resurrected Knight, I'm just gonna place it here until we talk about it. So Resurrected Knight, when this card is summoned, you can return any ally on your field back to the inventory. If that ally has any equipped cards attached, return those back to your portal. It's a 1400 beater with 0 equips. What do you think about it?
Ooh, see, with the whole thing with you're able to return any ally on your field to your inventory. Me personally, like, yeah, it can come in handy. As in, if someone, I don't know. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan with you can just throw your card back in your hand. I like, yes, it has a high base, but without the zero equipment either, it's like, what can he really work off of on its own with just being out on the field? You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, I definitely do. And I think it's one of those cards where it's great in a portal that uses it appropriately, right? So
Right.
if you have a specific target that once you place it on the field it does some effect, and then you want to trigger that effect a second time. I mean, we've seen this happen already with our little trouble deck, the Time Walker deck, which this could use the Warp Shaman, right? You could just bring that back into your hand.
Mm,
Um, so basically, it's a great tutor, or sorry, a great bouncer card. It has a good amount of health, but on its own, it's just the body.
right.
Um, it's a high body, but it's just the
Yeah, yeah.
body. So I'm gonna go on the A range because I think it is better than the Dark Knight. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I definitely give it that. Like, yes, it doesn't have no equipment. It has high base attack. Um, the effect, like, it definitely can be put in use with other cards, but as standalone body, I definitely say it's better than the Dark Knight.
Okay, so now we got the Obsidian Knight. So the Obsidian Knight is a 600 plus. Once per turn, you can discard a dark card from your hand. If you do, this card gains plus 400, and it's a two
Oof.
equip card. Okay, thoughts?
So for as what I said with the Scarecrow Knight, these cards, especially using a strictly dark um portal, I heavily agree with this card being S tier. Not only that, if just saying you're using a discard, that portal basically, but just how it just gets already 400 every time you discard. If you're using a dark portal too, you're just stacking up, and stacking up.
So
But the issue with mine is the low attack, and it can easily be killed.
right. So my issue is that, you plop this on the board, you do it for one turn, it's 1,000, right? You can still kill 1,000 fairly quickly, but the other problem is you're discarding cards that you might want to just play, right? There's some cards that you can't play, right? Like, you think maybe you have an equip card that you can't use, and well, discard that, or you're just discarding fodder, right? Like some sprites or something that you
Right,
might not want to use.
which can be heavily useful.
Right. But at the same time, you got to think about it. All on its own, does it stand on its two legs? Not really.
Personally, no. On its own, just with the effect. Okay, on my first turn, just bumping her to 1,000. That's it. Personally, I get what you're saying, and I would at least drop it to an A tier, if anything.
To an A tier. I was actually sticking to a B tier
To a
because,
B tier?
yeah, I think she's not up there on the A tier.
Okay.
Well,
All right. Yeah.
okay. Let's go to the next one. Um, Raven Knight. So our little Raven Knight over here. So Raven Knight, this card gains plus 400 for every card on the field or in any discard pile with the word Raven in its name. For one second I got
Mm,
super confused. I was like, is this powerful
yeah.
than is this more powerful than White Rogue Knight? No, it's not. Okay.
No.
Um it's just with the Raven, and I can tell you this, there aren't that many cards that have Raven in the name.
Right. So for something like this, okay, I standalone on its own. For it, it's somewhere within. Right, as what you said, there's not that many cards that says the word Raven in it, and
Like,
for
are you really gonna discard? Because this is a multiple, right? So you can do two equips and multiple. You can have three of these in your portal. Are you really gonna run all three of them just so that you discard them and they live in the discard zone so you can
so,
just have one? No.
so think of it at the end of the day. Say yeah, okay, you do that. He's only at 1,200. That's all he's left with.
Yeah, well, you got to think about that. There's other
Wha-
cards like
Right.
this one, right? But at the end of the day, like on its own, it doesn't have like a solid good footing. It's too low of a base attack, in my honest opinion, to say yeah, um, it's a good card to leave in the field for one turn while you pull it off, right? So I can't run this card for no reason whatsoever. I don't see myself running this card unless it's a very meme deck or portal, and I just I want to
I just
meme.
say it's not usable.
Yeah,
Or what I can say not usable at the current moment.
right,
I just put him at F. I
right.
he just can't be used.
If we get more ravens, which there are other ravens in the set, right? If we get more ravens and there's more synergy with the ravens, for sure, yeah. You can make a nice raven deck and pop it off, right? But for now, no. I'm going with F. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, I went with F.
Okay, cool. Next one is Dark Cosmic Knight, the guy right here. Dark Cosmic Knight. This card gains plus 300 for every dark card in any discard pile. It's a 600 plus, and it's a 2 equip card. This card is insane. It is literally insane. Where this card the Scarecrow Knight was good, this card is just somewhat better because one, it gets two equips. Equip cards can just give you like a solid amount of bonus. But then on top of that, plus 300 for every dark card in any discard pile. It just makes him like better than the Scarecrow Knight, honestly. To me.
Okay.
What do you
So
think?
so on that being said as well, yeah, with it having the extra equipment space, it definitely helps out a lot. Being able to have other cards that ramp him up. Um, with the whole being able to do 300, that gives a little bit 100 more. That definitely does come in clutch, especially now how games go towards late game. It really does help out, especially how this card is also the opponent's discard pile as well. Yeah. The only thing, as always, the low attack.
The low
It
attack.
it
Yeah, the low attack
it
might
can
make it down.
it can always like yeah, you can do it once. Uh, well, yeah, depending. Also, if anyone else is running a dark deck, it can run into an issue.
Right.
But for yourself, it definitely helps. And
So,
as what you said with the whole scarecrow, I definitely say it's up there. It's up there with him.
hmm. Now, I'm actually rethinking this because you do make the good point that it does have a 600, right? So let's say you draw this on your first turn. Would you play this?
Me personally, I would not use it.
Yeah,
I won't use it
exactly.
yet. I won't use it yet, but I will use it down the road depending if I even have other cards. Say if I draw this card and I have other for equipment. Sadly, I'm left with nothing here, so I could take a direct hit and move on if I have the other cards to just discard. But if not, I gotta use it.
I think for me, I'm leaving it at an A because it could be up there with the S tier. It could definitely be up there. But if I had it on my first turn, I wouldn't play it because I just think that it's gonna get run over. Even if I played it face down, it would hurt to play it face down because I would feel like it's the wrong move. I think
Right,
I think
right.
I would need to wait until its effect is worthwhile to actually play it. And at that point, I don't think it's an S.
Okay, so where do you think? Like A tier at
I think
most?
A tier better than Resurrected Knight.
Right, right.
Right, so we're gonna push. So what we think is things that are on this side is better. Things that are on this side is just slightly not better. It's basically it.
Basically.
Okay, so going on the next. So we got the Dark Dragon. Dark Dragon's right here. Okay, so the Dark Dragon, this card gains plus 200 for every dragon in any discard pile. It's a 1100 dragon subtype with a one equip card. It's a good card, but
Yeah, I don't get you wrong on that. With that nice high 1100 summon card, that's pretty nice. Not gonna lie. With the one equipment, I mean it can work off of it, but same thing with what you said with the Raven. There's there's more dragon cards out there, yes. It's just very limited still.
right, it is. Um, if if there are more dark dragon cards in the future, we even have a portal called Go Dragons right now in TTS that's all dragons, right? Even in that portal, at maximum, you're just gonna have four dragons in the field, right? But then if you look at your discard pile, you can just pile on as many like you're essentially saying that you can have over 20 dragons on your discard, and that doesn't even count your opponents. But you're always having to depend on that dragon, you know, subtype, right? So
Hmm.
it's a little bit of a niche thing. Honestly, I still see it between like Like maybe like a B or a C. I'm actually feeling it's a C. What do you think?
Hmm. So for that card specifically, like for every dragon card in any discard pile, lately dragon needs some love, and currently right now it's not there. Not every, not I don't see that many people using dragon decks, so it's basically you're working off of yourself.
Right,
It's how this card is gonna be.
right.
So for a standalone card, basically working off your own portal to try to get dragons in your own discard, that kind of hurts a lot.
Yep, yep.
And at most, I would give it a high C but a low B.
I think C sits well for
Yeah,
me. Okay,
yeah.
let's go to the next one. Void entity. Here we go. Void entity. Void entity is a 800 plus. Every time this card destroys a card, it gains plus 300. If destroyed and revived, it maintains its last attack value. It's a 2 equip, so basically the effect where it just, keeps
It's
that.
basically just keeps on ramping and ramping and ramping and ramping.
Right.
As long as you're able to kill through people with the card. And if you're able to kill through with this card, just keep on ramping up, that it's going to be crazy.
It
It's a
is.
crazy card, especially how the effect says if it's destroyed and it comes back. Say you're at 2000 attack and then it gets destroyed. You know, unknown dragon, no name dragon, he comes along. You never know. And then he comes back again with the 2000 and say you put equipment card, boom, done. The card it just
It pops
personally,
off.
yes.
It definitely pops off.
Yes, it will be a slow start with
It's
the
a
card on
slow
its own.
start. Yeah.
Yes, heavily. But after a while, I see some work with it.
I definitely agree with you. It's an interesting card. I've actually never played it on any of my portals. Just simply because I feel like you need to have things to make it good. Like you definitely want to equip something from the get go. You want to slap on something that either gives it 2 or 1 or whatever. But at the same time, um, if it dies, you gotta have something to bring it back, right? That's the whole point of its effect. It's just bring it
Right.
back. So you either gotta use your resurrection or you're resurrected knight, right? So there's a synergy. You have the resurrected knight with the void entity, boom, you popped off. Well, no, actually no, because resurrecting knight is from the field. Sorry, my bad. Weird name, right? But
You're right.
there's an actual card called Resurrection, and we'll see a little bit later. But it basically lets you bring something back from the deck, right? So your monster reborn type of thing.
Right, right.
Um, there's other
So
cards that let
it's
you do the same thing, right?
hmm so it's basically saying you have to have a card that every turn it brings it back.
Right.
Just saying if it's just saying if void entity does die each turn, which after a while they're gonna rack up points off of you. But if you keep on bringing him back, he kills one. I definitely see very high potential for the card.
Yep. I think
But
it's a B.
as what you said with the low attack, it has to have that other card to
Right.
definitely push it through.
Right. That's it. That's a B for me. What do you think?
Yeah.
B? Okay, good. Let's go Raven Sprite. It's a 300 with 4 equips. Sprite with multiple. It does nothing. It has no effect. It's just the body. Um, it's unplayable. Basically, it, it's
there,
it's
there's there's
it's
nothing else to it.
yeah, it's the fodder to this guy, right? So what's the point? Like,
Like
Um,
so if anything with these cards, I love using sprites. Sprites are amazing cards. Just but just a standalone, just as is, nothing to it is unplay. Yes, as what you say, unplayable. Just as is, no cards assisting it.
right. I mean,
You can't. You just can't. You can't do it.
right. So like most other sprites allow you to equip themselves to like another card, and then you're buffing it, right? The fact that this is vanilla, it it loses that, right? It has four equips. You can build this guy to a tree, right? Size
Most
doesn't
definitely.
matter, and a bunch of other cards that just give it
Tiny
plus.
protectors and
Yeah.
all.
So basically, this is a great card for a very specific deck that currently right now I don't think even Tiny Chaos doesn't use it because it doesn't have an effect, right? So, and I'm not saying that every single card needs to have an effect. I'm just saying this card is just doesn't do much for what it has right now.
The low
Um,
attack, no effect. It can get killed by almost everything. 99% of the cards,
right.
especially having no effect, you just die.
I,
There's nothing to it.
I mean, even it's a summon type, right? It's not a knight type. So even something like this card, Dread Knight, which gets buffed by, you know, ally knights, I believe, in your discard zone. Even that, it wouldn't help it. So what's the point? Again,
Right.
so it's an F for me.
Hmm.
Okay, next one. Dark Wolf Sprite. If Dark Wolf Sprite right here. This card can also be treated as an equip card to any dark ally. It is a 300, three equips, one equip cost sprite, and multiple. This is a good sprite, right? It's basically what every other sprite is in the game. So to me, this is good. It just needs a good portal to go along with it, right?
Right. So for that, like Sprite, yeah, it can be used as equipment or it can be used as is. Like having that, that ability to be both and have only a one cost for 300, it can definitely be useful.
Yep. Um. So to me, I think as a sprite, to me, it's either B or C.
Yeah,
I
to me, I say it's a C just as a standalone, just as a card. It can be equipped to a Dark Ally. That's the only thing it can be only equipped to, though. That's the downfall of it.
right. Well,
So
most sprites are like that. So
yes, yeah, that's how I feel with all these sprites. They're just specifically one attribute, and there's nothing else to it. That's all. That's all it is.
right. So we got that. There we go. Dark Wolf. Dark Wolf right here. This card gains plus 200 for every dark card on the field or discard pile with the word wolf in its name, excluding this card. Oh, sorry. Yeah, excluding this card. So it's a 700 plus wolf type with a 3 equipability. I mean, it's a good card, but it's also very
You
niche.
need wolves.
Yeah, it's a
It's
niche.
basically,
Um,
and with wolves being, there's also very limited.
yeah, there's like 4 maybe wolves or 3 wolves. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's like 3 wolves. So, or maybe 4. I uh, yeah. um yeah, that's what I think. Honestly, I just don't know right now. I wouldn't play it.
You wouldn't play it.
No. I just I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see the reason why I would play this card. I think if you were running a portal and it's a pure wolf portal, you would have 3 cards in your portal. And then everything else wouldn't be wolves, right? So I
Right.
I don't see it. Actually, it correct. No, no. Let me rephrase
Well,
that because
with the sprite,
yeah,
yeah.
you could have 3 more, but again, it's like it's 3 cards plus this one, right? I don't even know if there's any other wolves right now. Is this a wolf? No, that's a feather. Oh, here's another one. Here's the fourth one. Sorry, that's all the wolves, right? So there
So
might be
to
there.
me, so so to me, I say it's, if anything, with the whole wolf thing. Yeah, there's not that many, but just at, I wouldn't say it's an F, but I would say it's a D at most. Like it can be runnable. Yes, there's at least more than Raven.
That's true.
Like they're at least more than Raven, and with the effect being Wolf, yeah, there's not that many, but it's definitely more than having Raven, and how much it can do
Right,
with the, definitely with the equipment.
right. So what do you think?
I give it at least a D, and
D?
it can't go any higher.
Okay,
Just as is.
I'll leave it on the D. Okay. Now here's the big bad boy. The Alpha Dark Wolf, which is a beautiful card. I love the art
the
on this card.
the art on that is so crisp. I
So
love how it looks.
it's this card gains plus 300 for every card on the field or discard with the word wolf in its name. Excluding this card, oh sorry, in its name excluding this card. If you have at least 2 wolf cards in the discard, this card gains plus 1 EA. Once per turn, you can banish a dark wolf from the discard pile to negate an attack. So it's a
So
1300 plus. It has
mhm.
0 EA, right? And it's a wolf type. Um, go ahead. Go you go
so
first.
so same thing as the Dark Wolf. Standalone, you gotta have the other wolf,
Right,
a deck of wolves.
right,
Like, if not, it can't go anywhere.
right.
It literally can't. Like, yeah, it got 1300 attack. That's pretty strong. Yeah, but other than that, you're left with nothing.
Exactly. Nothing.
So, like, same thing. Like, it's definitely stronger than the Dark Wolf. Yes, I definitely put it higher than him. But past that, there's not really much to it. Like, it's good that if you do actually have wolves in your discard pile, that helps out heavily. It
Right.
actually helps out drastically, to be honest, for this card specifically. Just having the getting an extra EA, and then being able to banish a dark wolf to negate an attack. I personally think at most it's a C to me. To me, it's a C. Just being able to negate attack and being able to gain a buff from every wolf card. That's nice. But I think what's literally pushing it to a C is that negating attack.
I think
That's
so too.
literally it.
It's the versatility, right? It can grow, it can negate, but you need the fodder to be able to grow and
Yeah.
negate, right? So,
It can't push any higher than that. Like, the card needs the rest.
yeah, I'll go with you and go with a C.
Yeah.
By the way, check Discord. I sent you a message just in case. Um, so Dark Samurai Armor is our next one. I'm gonna go right here. So Dark Samurai Armor is an equip. This card grants an extra plus 200 to any card with the word Samurai in its name. It's a plus 200 dark, and it has a 1 EA cost.
Hmm.
Now, this card we already saw by TD's tournament portal is great on a
Hmm.
samurai portal.
Right, right. But without that, the card won't be able to do much. Like you can still put it on a dark card. It would be nice to get that 200 plus to another 200 for being a dark, but sadly, you can't use the effect.
Right,
There's
exactly.
nothing else of it.
Right. So I think it's a C. I think it lands right there on the it's good, but it needs the synergy to be better. Like if it yeah, it just needs the synergy to be better, honestly. There
Yeah.
are better equips than this.
Yes. Yes.
Do you agree? C?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most definitely.
And next one is Dark Summoner. I think it was right here. So the Dark Summoner, search your portal for any Dark Summon cards. If you have no cards on your field, you can play this card for 0 equip cost during your opponent's combat phase. So
So,
basically,
let me put this on saying I personally I I don't like these cards. Like, yeah, it's cool that you can do summon, pull out a summon card, but that alone, without any else, it, I personally just don't like using these cards.
so I see the benefit in it when it comes to like, okay, well, you had kind of a weak board, your opponent clears it, you got this on
Hmm.
your hand, right? You have to basically save it into your hand until you play it, right? Because are
Yeah.
you really gonna hard cast this for 2 EA? Really?
N-
No.
That's the issue. Especially it's costing 2 EA. To me, I can't. I
Right.
like especially the equipment cost of it, and or if you use it on the field with no cards on it, why would I like? Yeah, okay, I get the little concept of that. I can pull a card. I can pull a
Well,
summon. Like
it's
I
not
can.
any card. It has to be a
It has to be
dark
a dark card
summon. A dark no, a dark summon card. It can't
summon.
even be a dark knight. It has to be a dark summon card.
So it can only summon what's his name? Dark entity,
I mean, it can summon Dark Entity, but it can't summon
void
something like
entity.
Dark Feather Knight, which is like
No.
the bad boy of the dark set, right? He's what you want to summon. You can't summon any of these knights that are just better cards. You have to summon a summon card. Now, you can do something like a Dark Moth Owl. You can do something like, this big guy right here, the Amethyst dragon thing.
Mhm.
There's a few of them, right?
Right, right.
But
But
really, for two, no.
yeah,
You're gonna play. You're gonna wait, and you're gonna play this on your opponent's turn.
yeah. So for that, yeah, it has its usefulness, but it's specific.
Right.
Like I definitely give it a C.
I gave it a C as well. That's where it lives. The C.
Hmm.
Okay. We're gonna go Dark Sprite Uprise. Um, which is this card right here. This card grants
Love using this card.
300x the amount of sprites in any discard pile to any ally. This card can also be played from your hand during your opponent's turn. See now this is a good card. This
Yes,
card is a one. It's a one cost, so it's not hard to just cast it on your turn.
and then
You
you can also do it on your opponent's turn as well
exactly,
to get themselves killed. Saying if you had a sprite and then he attacks it, you flip this over, boom,
exactly,
he basically kills himself. Um, but the sad thing with this card is it's heavily basing on your own portal, depending if your opponent's also using Sprite.
right,
That's the downfall if they're also using sprites. But say like as if you're using a sprite portal, this card beautiful, beautiful to use.
yep. Um, I think it's on overall. It's a good card. Yes, you have to play the sprites. Yes, it's kind of niche in that factor. 300x is it's not a whole lot, but it is a lot. Like, four sprites or three sprites, and you just gave 900 to
And
something,
the
right?
the good thing about this card, it can be on any card too. It doesn't specifically have to be a sprite that you can put this on. You can just throw this on someone, and boom, it
Exactly, and
just
boom,
skyrockets.
right? So, I'm
But
I'm I'm good at
sadly,
B. I'm good at B.
yeah, I was gonna put that there too, because sadly, you gotta have sprites, or your opponent has to have sprites.
Right. And there's a couple of good sprites, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah,
There's a
most
there's
definitely.
a couple of them that I think highly rated. Okay. Dark Kingdom. All dark allies on your field, which is this card, by the way. All dark allies on your field gain plus 100 for every dark card in your discard pile. It is a 100 plus 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 plus, meaning it's an anthem, and then a 2 equip cost. Ooh,
Ugh, man.
yeah,
That two equip cost, it kills it.
it does.
It
It hurts.
l- like I mean, even just the effect,
Only a
only a
hundred.
hundred.
Yeah, only 100. Like, you're gonna have to have, like, this is a late in
This
the
is a
game.
Yeah. It has to be late game for this card to be played. Early game, it's not doable, especially being a two cost.
Yeah,
God.
like, I mean, even TD's deck. No, not TD. B Thumb's deck. Um, which was a discard deck, right? And the whole point is just discard as many dark cards as you can, and then use them to do stuff with them, right?
Right, right.
You would have to wait 10 turns, or so many turns to make this worthwhile.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's 10 turns, but you have to, like, wait a little bit to pop this off. You can't pop this off in turn 1. You can't pop it off in turn 2. It's just not going to pay itself off, right?
No, no.
So honestly, to me, it's there. It's D.
D tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely, I say, better than the Dark Wolf, but it definitely, you have to use that late game.
Yep. You have to use the late game.
But if you get it firsthand, it just straight off the bat on its own, you can't do much with it. You you really can't.
Yep. Okay. Next one, Dark Reinforcement. Uh, it's an equip card. This card attack boosts is equal to 100x the amount of dark cards in any discard pile. Okay, so it's very similar to your Dark Kingdom, where Dark Kingdom is for all your allies, right? Meanwhile, Dark Reinforcement is just for one dark card, but it's a one equip cost, right?
Right.
Um, it's it's niche in a sense, because you have to have that dark card synergy.
Hmm.
You have to kind of wait for your dark discard pile to be full of discards. So I think it's right on there. It's here. It's in this land. I actually put it a little bit higher than this guy, because this guy's 2 equip cost.
Yeah, with that two equip cost, but then again, in my mind, is like it is giving it to all allies on the field instead
Okay.
of how the dark reinforcements only to that card specifically.
Yeah,
Like it counterbalances it somewhat, but
but you need to have somebody to equip this to, right? Like
right,
like so think about this. Like, you equip it to some guy. Don't you think that guy just became target number 1,
basically.
right?
Yeah,
It's
so it would be right next to the card in D tier,
Yeah,
but
it's there. I'll go with you, and I'll put them side by side.
Yeah.
Now this next card is the MVP of all MVPs. That's where I'm saying it goes. Dark Chaos Sword. If this card is equipped to an ally that would be banished or destroyed, banish this card instead. It's a one equip cost. It's plus 400 and plus 100 for dark. Ignore the plus 100 for dark. This card, just with its effect alone, is insane. Add the plus 100, it's 10 times more insane. It's a one equip cost to basically protect from banish and being destroyed. It is insane.
I agree with that. For that card to be only a one cost and it's giving a flat 400, and if you, as what you're saying, if you're running a dark portal too, dude,
Dude.
it's getting 500 off the bat, one
Right.
cost.
Yep.
And then
And
oh
the
dude, the
protection.
ally, yeah, the protection of this card not being able destroyed or banished, it helps. It helps out a lot with all these cards. In the origins, being able to banish cards easily to destroy cards. I definitely agree with
Yep.
you on that. Putting it at SS.
Yep.
It,
I mean, at the end of the day, this card it stumped me. I didn't know this card existed up to when I started fighting B Thump, and it's great. Uh, it's a great card. Actually, did no. I played it against TD, I think it was. One
mhm.
of them was running it, and it was just insane. I mean, this card was just badass. So
It's a huge trump card. Not
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That card definitely will get you.
So I think this is a good point to either let's do a pause here, or do you want to grab some of the guys from the collector edition dark cards, put them in here, or do you want to
Yep.
do? Okay,
Let's
let's
throw
do
them on
that.
in there.
Because I don't see. Uh,
Collector.
yeah. So we have the dark moth owl.
Mm-hmm.
So the dark moth owl is. Oh, sorry. Trying to find the card. If you have the card already, you might want to start reading it.
Yeah. Let me
Oh, I
pull
found
it
it.
up.
Found it. Okay, Dark Moth Owl is a 1200 plus. When this card is summoned, flip over the top card of your opponent's portal. If it's flipped and it's a dark attribute, discard it, and this card gains 1000. If it's any other attribute, exile it. I mean,
So to me, with that being said, I so I would not put it SS, but I would say at most S or an A, because as it has to be a dark card. That's the only issue with that. That being said, but then again, if it's not, you've literally just kick it out of the game for the whole time. Like
exactly. Like this card, when I saw the first time, I was like, it's an okay card. But when I think TD no B Thumb was running it, I was like, this card has no bad side. You either do one or you do the other, and both of them you gain a plus. You either exile the perfectly good card that they might have wanted from their portal,
right.
and they never get it. Like if it was banished the card, I would have been like, oh, this is bad. But it's just remove it, right? So it's a great card, and it's a 1200 beater plus with
Hmm.
a one EA. It means you can buff it a little bit more if you need to, right? You can
Yeah.
you can literally put on chaos, dark chaos
Oh
sword on it,
yeah,
and it's
and
like
it's just perfect synergy. Oh
yeah.
yeah, most
So,
definitely.
so to me, I agree with you. It's on the S tier. It's a good card overall. It does a great job overall. Period. Okay.
And I personally, I put it above the Scarecrow Knight.
Oh yeah,
I
for sure, for
just
sure,
that it has to.
for sure, for sure. Okay, next one is this guy. So the Amethyst Dragon. is this card cannot be destroyed by light or dark or light attribute allies.
Hmm.
If it is also unaffected by light or dark attribute cards.
So for me personally, I I use this as a staple onto one of my two of my decks. Not because it has a high attack, but the effect on it. I love that it's actually two attributes that it cannot be destroyed by. Not only that, it's unaffected by light and dark attribute cards, equipment cards,
Right,
which
right.
that alone, dude, that just defeats so many people's decks right there.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Um, I mean, not only that, it's a 1300 beater. It's a one equip, so you can still, equip something onto it, and it's a dragon card also. So it does also play some synergy with some of the other dragons. But like on its own, on its two legs, it
right
is
with
a good card.
yes.
Um,
For that, it definitely is up there with S. It
ooh,
definitely is better.
no,
Uh,
I wouldn't put it up there.
I would say low S, but it's a high A
I
because
think it's a high A. I think it's a high A.
because because though again, yes, it's strictly constraining with dark and light
Right. That's why I put it at an
with
A.
with two attributes, but then again, you still got earth, you still got amber, you still got fire. It, it will still get hit by those.
Right. Yeah, yeah. So I think A is a good spot. The good thing that it blocks the whole light and dark attribute cards is also, if you're trying to you pop something off onto it, it brushes it off, right? So it's a good card. It's honestly a good card. Uh, A. That's where I put it. A.
Hmm.
Okay. Next one is the dark. No, sorry, Dread Knight, I believe it's called.
Yeah,
Yes, the Dread Knight. This card gains plus 500 for every Dark Knight in any discard pile. It's a 100 plus base, and
a
then
thousand plus.
sorry, a thousand plus. My bad. And then it's
Hmm.
a one equip ability. It
So,
this card came in so clutch so many times against some of my fights, especially against Bendy. Um,
mhm.
it's a good card, especially when you combine it with some of these guys, the scarecrows, because you just keep buffing off of every one of them. Um, it's not a high attack, right? The idea is you want to have at least one Dark Knight in the graveyard or in the discard zone to be able to play this.
Yeah, honestly, because then again, if you only have one, so basically, you could use this on the first turn. Because if say you have two other knights that gets killed, and you have this on the field, boom, it already shot up to 1500.
Y-
Like
Yeah,
just right off the bat on the second turn or third turn, you can use it basically early game, or you use it at late game, dude. That card already, dude, that's gonna be hitting high numbers.
yep. I actually the way I played this card was I played this card, the Scarecrow Knight face down, and I played Dread Knight face down, and I equipped something onto Dread Knight. And since this other guy didn't have anything equipped, they attacked this guy first, and now this guy is a 1500 with an equipped
Right.
card because they didn't want to attack the guy with the equipped card. So it's
Mm-hmm.
that psychological game where it's like people don't like to tend people don't tend to attack cards with face down equipped cards because they might be afraid of something like the banishing light sword, the blazing sword, or yeah, I think it's blazing blade or blazing sword, one of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So people are afraid of that. So it's a perfect combination of just wait for this to get to 15 and then just flip it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's high A, honestly. I think it's high A.
Like, yeah. Then again, like as you say, it has 1,000. It has high number, but you have to wait for that one night to hit the discard.
Yep. You have to.
Like you will lose a point, but that this card will definitely get up there.
So I'm trying to see here in all the other dark cards because there are still a few. I'm just gonna grab all the other dark cards that are down here, okay? Before we end this
Let's
section.
see.
So we got Dark Feather Knight. So Dark Feather Knight, I believe it is from the Dark Water portal.
All right.
Yes. So Dark Feather Knight, anytime this card would be destroyed by battle, you can banish a dark card from your discard pile to negate the destruction. It's a 900 and it has 3 equip ability. This card is insane. Okay. It's 900,
Mhm.
so it's right up there to be a good hitter. Just um, do decent damage, but the ability to just
Like.
banish any dark card, just
Mhm.
you know, whatever, right? If you have a synergistic portal that just has a few dark cards, you're essentially negating, multiple times a turn. It's just great.
Right, right. And for it to negate an attack, it's one of those cards that it's just a nice card to have. Being able to just take hits and be like, nope, can't you can't do that.
Yep. So where do you
And
put this guy?
so but as what the sad thing with this one is, you also have to have quite a lot of dark cards in your discard already to begin with to have this card to be able to do something like that.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
But
Where would you sit this?
the thing is, to me, is it has 3 EAs. It
Yeah, yeah.
it has three
It
EA. It has a decent amount of attack, and it has a killer effect. It means it can cast Banishing Gaze. It can cast, through the portal. It can cast all these big, beefy, um, equip cards that need that 3 EA, right? And it can protect itself. I
mhm.
I I put it right there. I think it's I think I would play this even if I just had like 2 other dark cards in my portal. I would still play this because it's just a decently good card.
Yeah, especially you running strictly dark portal, that would definitely help. It will help out down the road. It will help out most definitely mid game. Early game, it will have some rough, but you wouldn't want to play this early game just cuz it's going to get killed off.
Yep.
But I'll put it low. I put it over Scarecrow,
You
but
you would, or do you want to hear or hear?
yeah, I put it above the Scarecrow Knight.
Okay. So yeah, that guy there. Let's see what we're missing from the list down here. We got the blue scarecrow. Blue Scarecrow is that synergy with the Dark Water Portal, so it's basically it's a dark card, but it gets buffed for 200 for every water card in any discard pile. It's a 1000 plus, and it does have 1 EA, kind of like its brother for
Mhm.
the Scarecrow Knight over here. Um, Again, this card's great. It's perfect on a water portal deck. I mean, honestly, that's where it should live,
Right,
on
right.
a water
But
portal.
it has to be like a mixture of dark and water, as what the dark water portal is. Like
I mean, it
it
doesn't
won't.
have to. It doesn't have
No,
to.
no.
The fact that
But
it's a dark card, it doesn't matter.
yeah, for that card to be on its own though, it it has to have a little bit of I say a little bit of both for this card to actually get somewhere.
Well,
Especially having to have the water, have
well,
water cards in your discard.
so you had to see it like so, right? So we put this guy here, right? So it makes sense that he's right next to it because if not, then both of these would need to go down, right? Because the idea is that this is dark with the dark, uh, buffing. This is dark, but with the water buffing. But it doesn't matter that it's dark. It's the water buffing is still good.
Oh, most definitely, yes.
So
Especially as you say, doing a water portal and then you just secretly just throw him in there.
yeah,
It's just like
okay.
it'll definitely catch me off.
Like here's how I play this card. I play this and I throw my Neptune armor onto the discard pile. Boom, it's a 1200 now. There, instantly, it's a 1200. That's
Mhm.
how good the synergy with this card is. Just because Neptune Runner just lives in the discard pile. Everybody throws their Neptune's armor onto the discard pile. So that
Yep.
means everybody else who's playing Neptune's armor also buffs this guy. Yes, they
Yep.
might negate, but who cares? You just spent one of their negates on a 14, or a 16 or whatever. Yes, it drops down, but at the end of the day, they already negated the attack. It's not like the attack goes through. So who
hmm
cares?
Right, right. So for this card, I'll definitely put it below the Scarecrow Knight, but it's still up there with definitely with the Scarecrow Knight.
Right. So let's see what else do we got down here. I saw another card. This
The
one right here.
Dark Curse Dragon.
Wait. So I grabbed this. Oh, okay. So that one goes first. Okay. Yeah, this one. So the Dark Cursed Dragon. Every time this card destroys an opponent's ally, it gains plus 300. It is a 900 plus. It's a 1 EA dragon. Um,
So it's kind of like the Void Entity,
yes,
but sadly, this card does not keep its value. It can't be revived. It can be revived, but it doesn't keep its value. It's
exactly.
basically all it is.
It's a worser Void Knight,
Y- lit-
which
Literally, I like it has its help. Yes, but it's definitely definitely below him.
yeah, I would put it probably like over here.
Yeah, I definitely throw him in C tier.
Okay. And then the next one is this little guy right here. We got the Dark Feather Sprite. So the Dark Feather Sprite is this card can also be treated as an equip to any dark ally. If this card is equipped to a card with the word feather in its name, it gains an extra plus 200. So again, it's a sprite with the 3 equip, 1
Equipment cost.
equipment cost. You play multiple of them. It has a 300. It's a niche card. It's really great to play it with the Dark Feather Knight, but on its own,
On its own, it would be just like the other sprite. Just
yeah. No, no, it's worse than
no,
a sprite.
well,
It's honestly worse than a sprite. Actually, is it worse? No, it's actually not worse
no.
than a sprite.
It's actually it would be better than the sprite because the
Yeah,
sprite it doesn't get any other benefit from it. It's still C tier, but it's at least better than that sprite.
yeah. I think I agree with you. Okay. Let's see what's the next one. We got this one. Um, this one is the Dark Stealth Armor. This card is If this card is equipped to an ally on turn one, it can attack directly for 1 point.
This card I also loved using in my Dark Portal. It's just a funny little haha card to use. I used it a lot against Chris, and he hated this card. He hated that. That not because I literally pulled this card 2 out of the 3 times it was in my first hand, and he hated that because I just picked him off literally just 1 point right out the bat.
I I can't. I can't play
For
this card.
but yes, for this card you have to get it on the first hand.
Yeah.
Other than that, you can't do anything.
I'll
Like
you know what? I'll put it here because it's playable, but
it,
it's not playable
yeah,
like
it's definitely D tier. You literally have to get it in your first. hand.
Right, exactly.
If not, you
Nah.
there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
It loses its effect. All it is just a
A plus
plus
300.
100.
Yeah, it's a plus 100 or a plus 300 if you actually played it with a dark
Yeah,
card, right? So
and
it's
that's it.
yeah.
It's just a plus 100.
Yep. Yep. Okay, next one is this one right here. This one is the Sword of Destruction. Once per turn, you can discard a card from your hand or field. If you do, this card gains plus 100.
And
It's
it
a
just keeps on
two.
stacking.
Yes, it does keep stacking. It's a two equip cost with plus 200 plus uh
X
we don't
amount.
know, yeah, X amount of dark. So you have to be constantly discarding cards to actually make sense, which honestly, is it really making sense? This card costs two equip for a plus
Hmm.
200. Really? No. I don't see this card really being played. Unless it's a very niche thing, like again, like a discard deck centric thing. And even there, why would you discard a card just to gain plus 100? Just to
Right,
get
right.
just to get the card in the discard zone.
But
I
but
mean,
with that, actually for this equipment, like as if you have these cards that get bonuses for per discard, like the Dread Knight. Say you get those two in the first hand, you just discard a dark. You're already at 1500 just right off the
you
bat.
can't put this on the dark and the Dread Knight. You can't put it.
Oh,
It's
is he?
too. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's two costs.
yeah.
So
That's
that's
the
where it
problem.
loses it.
Literally, if you look, you can't put it on this guy, which is the Scarecrow Knight. You can't put it on the blue
No,
on the. You can only put it onto the Dark Feather Knight. Or the Dark Cosmic Knight. All the other guys you can't put it on.
that is also true.
So
Like for it to be two
honestly,
costs, I say it's at least C. But
see,
yes, I would
mm,
say low. I would say low C. Not only because it's able to keep on. It will definitely help out the other cards. Yes, alone for that,
mm,
it definitely helps.
I
But
think I think Obsidian Knight does a better job of that equip than anything.
yeah, most definitely. Yeah, like that equipment definitely does better.
Yeah. No, 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 no. Obsidian Knight does better.
Right, right, right.
So I still think it's D. I think it's so bad. I don't know, man.
But with the two costs,
It's
I
the two
can't see that.
cost. It's the two cost. If it were
And
one
as
cost, I fine. I would move it up to
and
C.
and as what you're saying, like yeah, there's not a whole lot with these dark cards being a two cost,
Yeah,
and
it's a
any
three
other
A.
card that you throw that on won't get the benefit of the plus 100 because it has to be dark.
Exactly. At that point, you might as well play any of the other guys. Like at that point, you might as well play Dark Kingdom. Just play Dark Kingdom. Screw it. Right? No, it's like no. You can't convince me, man. You can't convince me.
No, no, I totally get
Um.
what.
So the other card is this one, Dark Water. So Dark Water is you can discard one dark and one water card from your hand or field. If you do, this card's EC is only one. It's a
Which is
three.
a beautiful, but as
It's a
what you said,
three EC. It's a
right, right,
three EC for plus 500 plus 200 dark. So you're telling me that one, I need to have both card types in my hand, discard them for whatever reason, to then gain plus 700 only if the card is a dark card.
right. So it's dark. It's dark heavy. I mean, even see that's the thing. If it's not dark, then you're really sitting at only 500 for a three cost.
Exactly. Like literally, look at good old Dark Chaos Sword. Good old Dark Chaos Sword is plus 400 for one cost. This thing is plus 500 for three if you don't have a dark and a water.
Right. Like it can't be strictly a dark portal because you won't be able to use that.
Exactly. Now you need to make a dark and water polo. You need to make sure that you have both cards in your hand. You need to be able to discard them. Where, yes, your water card could be something like Neptune's armor, and then yeah, you discarded Neptune's armor without actually having to do the effect of Neptune's armor. But at the end of the day, it's like, is it really worth it? Honestly, honestly, you know what would make this card better? If it would say instead of reduce the EC cost to one, reduce the EC cost to zero. That's what would make this card better.
Okay.
Because if you
I
reduce it to zero, you could put it on something huge that has zero EC cost, and then it's amazing. Like any of these big guys that just doesn't have an EC cost, and you can just slap on plus 700 if it's dark, right?
mm, mm. For that, let me see. Would
That's what
you
I think. I mean, you can look at it like the biggest dark guy that we have here is this I mean, honestly, it's this amethyst dragon right now. That's the
mhm.
biggest dark card that we have here, unless I'm missing one of them. Let me double check. No, I think that's it. No, wait. There's the six tail shadow spirit. How much does that have?
That has zero equipment costs with a 1300.
Oh, it's a 1300. Again, yeah, exactly. So yeah. Um I
Is that
mean,
there?
yeah, you can put it onto him or put it onto the other guy. Again, it just it needs love. That card needs love. I say low D tier. I'm sorry.
Low D tier.
Yeah, low D tier. So the last few cards that we have here to from the dark side is a loyal sacrifice. So loyal sacrifice is a freaking amazing card, amazing removal. It's got a big amount of text, but it's very simple when you kind of understand it. It's just search your portal for a summon card. It has to be a summon card. Search your portal for a summon card where its base attack is higher than the base attack of a monster you're trying to get rid of. And once you find it, you pick it and you tell, I want to get rid of this guy. And basically, both of them get discarded. And after that, you can't attack your opponent directly the next turn, but you can attack their allies. So it doesn't matter. What? You miss out on 1 point to get rid of one crucial card as long as you have a target to, pick, right? So the idea is you're searching your portal for something that you know you can get rid of. That's the whole key.
Mm.
So where do you I think Loyal Sacrifice is a great card.
Mhm.
You can play this for 0 EC as well, by the way, or you can play it for 1. It
It's very useful.
Yeah.
It definitely will come in handy, especially being that low cost, and you can instantly use it.
Like imagine this. You you go, okay, well, I I'm gonna get rid of freaking no name dragon. I get rid of no name dragon. That means I can literally pop anything in your portal. Sorry, anything in your field because I just got rid of a 3000,
Mhm.
and I can then try to do some shenanigans to get no name dragon back on the field, right? That's how versatile this card is. So I think it's double S. This card's just great. It doesn't matter that it's dark. It can be played any deck.
Right, right.
I think we have like one more
Where is that card? Let me find.
here. We have this one. No, we have two. We have the Dark Amber Sword. If an ally is equipped with this card were to be destroyed by a dark or amber card, you may discard this card and negate its destruction. There you go. See, this is another good card. It's not on the level of Dark Chaos Sword because Dark Chaos Sword can do that, but with any card. But it's still a good card because one, it's a one cost. Two, it gives it a flat plus 300. Three, it can literally just help negate the destruction of a card. This card's a little bit more niche. It has to be dark or amber, yes, but
Hmm.
it's still a good card.
Yeah, being able to just negate the destruction is. I just love those cards that are just able to just block. Is
Exactly.
like,
And they're just a one equip ability, right? You can put this face down, and if you need just the power boost, you flip it up and it's the power boost. Oh, it's against a dark or amber, flip it up and now it's blocking against it's basically getting removed to avoid the destruction, even if it went above the attack level. I think it's an A. I think it's a better A than these guys, in my honest opinion. So
yeah. Uh,
you
mm,
don't think so? Go for it. Go for it.
for that card, like as what you said, it has to be dark or fire. Uh, I with
It has
that
to be
being
dark or
said,
amber. Dark or amber.
darker amber. Yeah. With that being said, like, yeah, you can negate an attack, but you had to. They had to be either or those two attributes. Like, yeah, you can negate it. I
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
like you get what I'm saying. Like it has to be those two.
Okay, so where do you think? Where do you think?
I still say A tier. Yeah, yeah, but I wouldn't put it over the other card. I would put it over the Dark Cosmic.
There?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I guess no, no. I would say over the dark amethyst as well. The amethyst as well.
Okay.
Actually, no. Screw that. Because amethyst, even equipment cards for him, like it
Yeah.
doesn't affect them. Yeah. I as where it is, I say that's perfect.
Okay. Okay. And then last card that is dark. Let me double check last time because I don't want to have to revisit dark one more time.
No, there's still a couple more.
Wait, really? I just see one. Where?
So let's start with the six tailed shadow
Okay, let's
spirit.
yeah, let's do Six Tail Shadow. So
So,
Six Tail Shadow.
hmm
What up with that one?
so this ally ignores all equipment cards on your opponent's field. So I love the idea. Yes, late game, it would be perfect. Like you can just go straight through their card because it just says, "Yeah, I don't really care about your equipment. I'm just gonna attack you just as your base
Yeah,
attack."
I mean
Um,
it's
for for this card, like for cards that are ramped up, that's the downfall. Cards that are able to ramp up destroy this card. But
yeah.
cards that need equipment to be up there, this card just destroys.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Uh,
Actually, and not only that, this goes over Swords of Revealing Light. Do you know that,
hmm.
right? So
Okay.
so the combo of a Heart of Light with a White Light Attractor, this ignores it.
Oh, for it to be able to. Okay.
It can literally pick. Oh, it's like, oh, you have White Light Attractor. I don't care. I'll go attack whatever guy you have. It
Right, since it's an equipment, and you can just say, "Yeah, I don't want to attack that card anymore.
yeah
I'm just gonna go attack this small little puny one over here." Or you can just attack him directly too. Just say,
yeah
"Yeah,
yeah.
just screw that card." I mean, if he has other equipment on it, if someone was ramping that card up, and it's saying say he's at, I've seen the highest number so far is 4,000. I had to deal with that. That was a crazy attack, but his base attack was only 800. So, like, say I use this and be like, okay, well, you're basically dead at that point.
Yep.
So for this card, I I say it's I say it's A, but not passing the being able to negate stuff and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it can still die. Saying like cards that can amp up, cards that are able to amp up, like the Scarecrow and the Blue Scarecrow. You can't stop them. You literally can't.
Yep. I think it's here.
Yeah, I go with that. I definitely agree with that one.
Okay. I do see that there's another one right here. Yeah, I forgot about this one. That is the promo eight from the grave plus 100 attack for every ally in your discard pile. It's a one cost, which is great. It's an equip card, right? But it means you need to run a bunch of allies, and it just means that you need to just have them in your discard pile. This is a good late card, but also, you know,
So for that, I'd say it's B, most definitely. Like, yes, you need a lot of cards in discard, and it can go as your opponent as well.
no, it's just your own.
It's only your card. So, yeah, that being said, only your discard pile, you
Yeah,
have to be discarding a crap ton. Basically, the Obsidian Knight, you have to keep on discarding. If you're running a dark or any cards that are just keep on discarding over and over and over, just so that this equipment can just ramp up as well.
I'm
Um,
actually not putting it there. I don't think it deserves to be in B. I think it's just as equal as these cards.
yeah, for just being on its own,
Yeah.
just having a
I mean
card.
actually it's even worse. It's even worse than those. Because okay, so think about this. This is allies. It doesn't include it doesn't include equips, it doesn't include um summon. Oh, actually no, yes, it does
No, it
include
does.
summon.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was about to say it's just equipment. So I mean, I
Yeah,
I definitely I definitely will. Mm, for for that card for being in a one equipment plus 100, it's not a whole lot. I say at most C to, yeah, just C.
see? Okay.
Because it doesn't have to be any. It doesn't have to be specified as just um
Dark.
straight dark or straight anything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
just you have as many allies and you just start going up.
I get
But
it.
the thing is you gotta have quite a
Yeah.
lot of this quite a lot of discard
Yeah.
and you're in there.
So okay, so we got that one. Any other one that you saw?
Let's see.
Oh wait, didn't we already pick the wolves? Oh no, we're missing one wolf. Here's another wolf.
Ooh.
Okay,
Okay.
so this wolf is from the Dark Water portal,
Mhm.
and it
And that
is the
is.
Dark Spirit Wolf.
Mhm.
Dark Spirit Wolf, when summoned, declare any attribute other than dark. While this card is on the field, all cards that are that attribute get plus 200. It has 2 EA ability and it's a 900. This is a good card. This is a
Yeah.
good card.
So with that, like, you're saying you're not only running dark. Say like you're running another attribute. Say as an example with the dark water, you have water as well. Every card on the field gets plus 200. It's a nice little effect.
Yeah, it's a nice little boost.
Yeah.
I think it's an A
So
tier.
for I would say at most, yeah, I would say A tier. because you're just basically ramping it up,
I mean,
ramping other people up.
yeah,
I mean,
basically. And it has a 2 EA, so you can stack something on top of this.
mm-hmm.
So overall, it's a good card. It's a good anthem effect, honestly. Um, this would pair really well with stuff like fire portals or earth portals that usually have that synergy with like the golems, the earth golems.
Oh, okay.
That's good synergy right there. Some amber synergy, Amberlin and all that stuff. You can just say, pick amber and everything that's amber goes up. It's not bad. 200 is a make or break type of thing. And you can flip this. You can have it face down, and then when opponent declares an attack on some other thing, you can flip it up, declare whatever they were attacking, and then it gets the plus 200.
Mm.
Yep.
That's basically how it goes. Yeah, I give it to that.
Yep. Okay. Did we
Let's
miss
see.
any other one? Um,
Um.
double check.
Mhm.
I think we're
Uh,
good. I really don't see any other one. I know the cards are kind of just spread out a little bit, but I don't see any other one.
yeah, I
Yep.
think that is it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna pause here. This is all
Hmm.
for the dark side, and then we're gonna pick it up with the next attribute. Thank you guys.
Have a good one.